So, thank you for coming to Lash with me. Today, I am doing a fill and reshape. And I say reshape because she usually has a volume doll with the longest length that I have available. And she decided she's going on a trip, so she wants to change her shape to a cat eye. And normally I would just change the shape and use the shape that she has to do so, but I wasn't able to do that, seeing that she had the longest length and it was all throughout. So to create that sleek cat set where it's shorter in the middle of the eye and longer on the outside of the eye, I actually had to trim these, which is breaking some of my own rules. But sometimes we have to do that. So as you can see, I am isolating very carefully. Right now, I am filling in the middle of the lash where I had to take a lot out. It is most important to make the middle of the eye very full. Otherwise, your client will leave unsatisfied, feeling like they need to come back sooner than normal. Each fan is placed on one individual natural lash. I'm in here filling in the gaps in the inside of the eye. This is a difficult area of the eye. And at one point, I was the worst at this, so I decided to make it the easiest thing that I do, and now it is. Now, the inner and outer corners are sometimes the first thing I do. And to getting good at the inner and outer corners is actually one of the first things that help me get faster at doing lashes. And I also have one rule when it comes to the inner and outer corners of the lashes in my salon. My rule is that every lash set, there needs to be lashes on the very first and the very last lash. I believe a lot of artists are scared to do those first and last lashes, but I also believe that if those lashes have not been placed, then the lash set does not look complete. It looks incomplete, like it's almost time for a fill, because you can see your natural lashes and they don't look like the lash extensions. It's not a match. It looks like unlashed lashes. And as you can see, when I'm doing lashes, I'm pushing all these lashes in all different directions, and this set looks crazy, but once I brush it out, there will be a definite intentional shape. So now I've pushed the lashes in so many different directions. I'm drying off and brushing them out to see what needs to be done next. Whenever I get lost in a set, I will turn on the fan, dry for 10 to 15 seconds until I'm able to brush the lashes out. And then I'll be able to see what I need to do, any gaps that need to be filled, any areas that look lighter or less dense than the other areas. You want this to be pretty even unless you have some intentional airy shape that you're trying to create. Everything needs to be very intentional, and it's my intention to create a very full dark set because this client in particular likes a more Russian volume appearance. So here I am. I did this with the other eye. I am taking out all of the old outgrown lashes. If I see too much of a natural lash grown out, it's time for them to come off, because otherwise these are very long lashes and they are going to be uncomfortable if they're grown out too much. You see, I could pretty much do a soft volume set with what I've taken out of this eye, but now that's going to be very comfortable for her. And here's where I break my rule. I am trimming the lashes into shape. You don't want to do this unless you are highly skilled, because otherwise it will look like a really bad haircut. And now I'm just going to let you watch this eye come together. So I didn't do it first this time, but I'm not needing to do it first. I definitely know how to speed lash. So sometimes it's the last thing I do, but as you can see, I am pulling it back, because when you pull back the inner and outer corners, if you're lucky enough, some of those first and last hairs are going to just stick straight up, and you won't need to get the tweezer to isolate. Now, if they are all bunched together and they have too much hair in the inner and outer corners, you want to still cleanly isolate. Pulling back may not work for everybody. It depends on the amount of hair and how close together their hair is on the inner and outer corners. So right now I'm checking that water line. I'm pulling it back. I want to see the upper water line clear. This shows me what is still attached to the tape. If I accidentally glued anything to the tape, it's time to take it off. And now I'm going to do a sticky check. And this is such an important step. You don't want to think you are so good and working with glue and lashes and on these really intricate small spaces. You think you're so good and you're not going to stick them together. You're wrong. Just do the sticky check. Your clients will appreciate you. So I do a rinse at the end. I believe this helps it speed up the cure, washes any of the chemical residue away, and makes them feel fresh at the end. It also helps you check your work. As you can see, I am brushing them pretty aggressively after that rinse. It makes them fluff up, and it helps me see that the lashes are not going to come off. And that way, when people go home and they decide to put their fingers in their lashes and rip them out and say maybe that was my fault, I'll be like, nope, I brushed these, I rinsed them, and they didn't want to come off. Don't put your fingers in your lashes, ladies. So everybody's favorite part. It's when you know you're about to be free, the lash snap is over, and you get to see the lash reveal. And there she is with a reshape. Beautiful.